I'm trying to do right. Seems as though I'm the only one selling my soul. It's getting hard out here. Does anybody feel me? Cause I'm drowning in shame, trying to maintain, wide awake chasing my dreams. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me?
Like, you might be motivated or inspired once we get into it, but I feel like coming from the hood, you know, people will come in and motivate you all they want. You can feel excited today, but if you don't got no solutions on how you gonna make it out or what's your next level, it don't really mean nothing. Like, you get excited all you want, but if you ain't got no solutions, no blueprint, it ain't gonna do nothing for you. So I wanna get into, like, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about me just so we get comfortable, and then y'all can rap. This is like an interactive conversation. It's not just me like lecturing you or nothing like that. But my hope is really to come in, us kick it, and you know, y'all come out with some solutions for yourselves and a real blueprint for how you succeed, whatever your goals are. And I assume most people's goals is to get some kind of financial freedom, be wealthy, take care of your fam, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. Like, so just by a show of hands real quick, you know, who in here would at least like to be comfortable in life financially, if not wealthy? By show of hands. I'll put mine way up, 'cause I want to be super wealthy, right? So, all right, cool, we got that basis down, right? Everybody want to eat. Everybody want to be able to provide for their family, provide for themselves. So then the question comes, well, how do you do that? Like, how do you make it out here, right? So for me, I'm gonna just give you like my quick backstory. You know, I grew up in Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy. You know what I'm saying? Born to a single mom. She was 17 when she had me. Was supposed to get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? She walked out of the abortion clinic off the table. You know what I'm saying? She had me. My pops left at 3 months. Skated out. My mom got with another dude a few years later. It was my step pops. He was out on bail for a robbery charge, and a couple robbery charges, actually bank robbery. And he went to prison while I was, you know, growing up. So I just knew visiting him in jail in Broadway Prison in Jersey growing up. My mom was getting high, just like in the 80s. I was born in 80, right? So my mom was getting high in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Crack hit, all of that. My step pops came home. He had a heroin addiction. I mean, he was real, you know, real violent dude, abuse. You see my mom get black eyes, you know, bloody lip, the whole cops always coming to the crib. You know what I'm saying? And me being her first son, and now I'm the oldest of 4, I got 3 other siblings, like this is how we grew up, you know what I'm saying? And we grew up poor, like straight poor, like welfare, food stamps, Goodwill, people knocking on the door for Christmas time, like here's your clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like Kmart kicks, you know what I'm saying? The whole just, we ain't had it, you know what I'm saying? Like living in my grandma's crib, me, my mom, my sister in one twin size bed in my grandma's crib, one apartment, just, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Then she moved to a low income apartment complex in the suburb in Jersey, and that's how we grew up. So between me being pissed off about being poor, going to school with the corduroy jeans on and the holes in my sneakers and, you know what I'm saying, all of that, and then the violence at my crib, like seeing how my step pops was just really dogging us out and abusing us, I grew up angry. I grew up violent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got in a lot of trouble in school. Like, I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care about my grades. I didn't care about suspensions. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I was lashing out. You know, going into high school, you know, it was like really, I didn't take life serious. Like a lot of us do as young kids, you know what I'm saying? It was just about being cool, trying to get a girl or two, you know what I'm saying? Being the class clown, being funny, all the stuff that really don't mean nothing. Playing ball, thinking ball was gonna be my way out, you know what I'm saying? I was nice. Then at like 15, I started selling weed in school, you know what I'm saying? I was like trying to get the extras. We still was poor, I was just older, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, going with the free lunch tickets, getting, you know, subsidized lunch and all of that. But at 15, I started selling weed, and I remember, like, my first flipping weed, like, Tommy Hilfiger was hot back then, and I had copped the Tommy Hilfiger jacket, you know what I'm saying, raincoat, and, like, the girls was on me. I'm like, this what's up? Like, I got some fresh clothes now, and this is like, I see it change. I see, like, you know what I mean, how they look at me change. I'm not, like, no more the, you know, like, I was always accepted, but when you broke like that, it's like, you know, it's going to be a kind of separation between being like the real cool kid or the girls want you and all of that, and you know, you're looking shabby. So I got turned out by like me being able to make my own money at a young age. So then I started selling coke in school, you know what I'm saying? And like, I got introduced to the block at like 15, 16 years old. Then still going through violence in my home. You know, one day my step pops grabbed me up, he actually choked me. And you know, so I choked them back. I'm like a little bigger now. I'm like, we ain't gonna have this. So I ran away from home, dropped out of high school my junior year, and was like, I'm about to hit these streets full time. So, you know, started hustling, went through the game or whatever. Went back to high school my senior year to like a twilight program, an evening program to graduate at a Votech. And I ended up graduating. But through that whole time, I then just adopted the fact that this is my life, like the streets is my life. I started getting money, made my first $1,000, you know, selling coke. That's my first goal, was $1,000. I couldn't believe I had $1,000. At 16 years old, $1,000. I was like, this is crazy. Then, you know, my goal was 10,000. Like, you know, so my step pops, I came back home, he found out I was hustling. And my G's still getting high. So now he like, yo, if you're gonna be hustling out here, he ain't say quit, don't sell drugs. He didn't say that. He said, if you're gonna be hustling and you're gonna be carrying a gun, you better have 10,000 saved. That's gonna be your bail. So that's my first goal, was 10,000. You know what I'm saying? And then my pops to come to me to get coke so he can trade it on the block for dope, because he was doing dope. So like that was my life, you know what I'm saying? So that's just, I'm just telling you my real life circumstance, right? So it may not be even close to yours, good or bad. But so senior year, you know, I'm rocking. Like, I mean, I'm that dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting up numbers my senior year of high school. I mean, so my attitude got even worse, because now my teachers can't tell me nothing. My parents can't tell me, nobody can tell me nothing. You know, so like, you know, I made over 100,000 my senior year in high school. So, you know, ball quickly faded away. Me and my basketball coach got in an argument. I took off the jersey, threw it in his face, like, I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just feeling myself. Graduate high school, a couple months later, my real pops, who I only met twice in my life, once when I was 7 for like 2 days, and once when I was 9 for like 2-3 days. My real pops living in Nebraska. Like, that's where he had moved to. And he came back to town to visit New Jersey, you know what I'm saying, see old family, and he was getting high too. So he comes to the block, and my fiend Simona pages me. And she's like, your pops is in town. I'm like, all right, cool. She's like, he wants some. I'm like, all right, what do you want? She's like, he want 2. I'm like, all right, tell him I'll give him 2 for 30. I'm selling 20s. I'll give him 2 for 30. So that's my first time interacting with my pops in like, you know, almost 10 years. And the first thing is a drug transaction. So my pops comes back to me like that same day. He geeked up, eyes big, high. And he like, son, what you gave me, you know, here in Jersey, this go for double in Nebraska. So I'm like, word. So I'm like, what's up? He like, come out there. I'm like, I'm out. So 2 weeks later, this is 1998, I'm on a plane in Newark, New Jersey, right? I went to Newark Airport before 9/11. I went to Newark Airport. I had some Anichi cargo shorts on, jean shorts, Hanes white tee, blue Yankee fitted, and some Timbs on. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 ounces of coke in my side pocket. My mom drove me to the airport. She didn't know I was hustling. She just thought I was going to visit my dad. She thought it was so sweet that me and my dad were reconnecting after all these years. You know what I'm saying? I'm going out there to rock out. So I go to Nebraska. You know what I mean? We stop at a layover in Kansas City. I hit Nebraska. And so I got off the plane, my pops take me to the kitchen. He's like, you know how to cook up? 'Cause I had coke. They had crack out there. You had to cook it up. So I'm like, nah, he's like, I'm gonna show you. So my first bonding experience with my pops is him teaching me how to cook crack. He taught me how to cook on a stove and a microwave. And we rocked that whole thing, that whole 2 ounces out in a week. Then I'm like, yo, I'm coming back. So the next time I came back on a first class train. Had the private train to myself. You know, I made my own bed. Took a train from Jersey to Nebraska. This time I took that 56 and I doubled to 112. You know what I'm saying? So, or 125, whatever it was this time. So I took that on the train and we rocked that out. Now I'm doing some Crip dudes out there and I'm selling a little bit of weight too, as I'm selling to his friends and all other fiends. So at the same time, I still have my block in Jersey. So my cousin's running my block in Jersey. I'm taking trips to Nebraska. And during the course of that summer, after my senior year of high school, I got a connect down in Baltimore. So I got a crib down there. So I was taking trips from New York to get my work, dropping off in Jersey, going to Baltimore, and going to Nebraska. So at 17, I run an international drug operation. So I'm really just, I'm the man. You can't tell me nothing. I got everything. I mean, I got my older cousins working for me. I'm just doing it. This is like street dreams. You know, this is just one of them stories, right? Until I'm going back to Nebraska now, taking a train from DC. I'm going to get a quarter key, 250 grams. And I had a 38 revolver on me. I'm going to the city, going to New York. And there's cops everywhere. But I already had my train booked the next day, so I had the cop. I couldn't not get it. So I went and got my work. And I just felt crazy. Like, it was just so many cops everywhere. Like, even my connect told me, like, Poppy, be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, be careful. So I had a red do-rag. I stashed my work in a do-rag, put it in the alley. And I walked away, like, I'll come back and get it. I took maybe like 10 steps. I turned around, like, nah, I'm going to get my work. Bump that. Grabbed my work, went back around the block, got in the car, My driver was in there. He like, yo, the cops just came around. I'm like, all right, pull off. I'm like, what you say? He said, I told him to beat it. I'm like, why you do that? So soon we pull off, lights come on right behind us. Pull over. Cops like, get out the car. We get out the car. I got the gun under the seat. I got the drugs in my red Averex. They said they try to search me. I'm like, all right, chill. Put my hands on the car. Try to book on them. They grabbed the back of my jacket. Cop tackled me. And as he tackled me, I reached into my pocket and I grabbed the coke and I like bust the bag open. So I'm like on the ground while the cops is beating me. I'm just slinging coke everywhere. Try to throw it over the fence. There's a fence right there on 139th from Riverside, New York. And hit the top of the fence, fell right back down in front of me. And cop got coke all on or whatever. I get locked up. Well, what you say?
You got high too.
I don't know. So, but anyway, like this is like just showing you where the start of my story came from, right? So that charge, like my first charge ever, right? I thought it was invincible. First charge ever. My first offer was 3 years of life for a New York second highest drug crime. So now I'm in jail. I'm like, I'm good though. I got bread. I can bail out. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna bail out and go on a run. Try to bail out. They say you can't bail out. They got something in New York called an surety exam. You gotta prove where the money came from. I had no way of doing that. So now I got bread, but I'm stuck in jail. I'm in the tombs. They're like, you're about to go to Rikers Island next. Now I'm 18, first time in prison. I'm in New York with a big charge, facing 3 to life. Got to call home, tell my moms that, yo, I'm facing 3 years of life and I'm locked up. And she didn't even know I was hustling. And so I went through that cycle, right? So I ended up pleading guilty to a 1 to 3. It's my first charge. They dropped it down, plead guilty to a 1 to 3. The dude that was in the car, I knew he was going to tell on me the first night. So I took the weight for everything first night. I'm like, yo, don't worry about it. It wasn't him. He was the driver. It was me. He skated. So I took the charge. Went to Rikers Island, started learning how to jail. I had to learn like what it was. Like in Rikers Island, everybody get green cups. You got this, you got rules. You eat at the table, you can't even get from the table unless you knock on the table. Like when you in jail, or in that jail particularly, like ain't none of that just hopping up out your seat while we eating that chow. Dudes will try to chop your head off because they don't know what you gonna do. You hopping up so fast. So everybody knock on the table before they get up. And so I'm learning jail rules, learning how to jail, how to live, you know what I'm saying? So in New York, I basically learned how to be a better criminal. Like it didn't correct me. Like I'm just listening to dudes about how they got caught and learning what not to do next time. I'm getting schooled by older dudes telling me how to make more money when I come home. So I just came home like with bigger goals now. You know, this dude, white boy Eddie from Staten Island, was like running the whole Staten Island. He was like my big homie. And he like, yo, Jers, like I like you, yo. He like, yo, I'm telling you, this is what you do. Write down all your fiends and you come home, give them samples. You know what I mean? He teaching me the game on how to, you know, so like basically I embody like this game, you know what I'm saying? Like all the way from that not even being my first charge. I caught another charge a year later after leaving New York, caught a charge in Maryland for drug trafficking, facing 15 years. Only way I beat it because the cops legally searched my vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So then I caught an open charge in Jersey. Like just, the streets was just all I did from 15 to 25. I'm 33 now. From 15 to 25, like I lived it. You know what I'm saying? Like stash boxes in my whip, the James Bond cars, hit 3 buttons and your gun come out, you know what I mean? Like all of that. Everything you hear about in the rap songs, the videos, that was me because that's what I embraced. That's all I knew. And then every time I got in trouble, what I told myself was, I don't have no options. I got felonies, I have no options. But before I got in trouble, the reason why I sold drugs was because I was poor, because my life, the way I grew up was rough. So that was my excuse. I had an excuse to why I did what I did because I had to do what I had to do. Because I was poor. You know what I'm saying? So I made excuses for myself, right? Then one day, still hustling in Newark on 10th and Springfield, big drug block. I got some blood dudes working for me. I'm selling dope. It's 5 in the morning. And mind you, 3 felonies later, you know what I'm saying? 3 bids later. Like I've been through parole, intense parole, urine test, everything. Like everything you could, like the bracelet on me, the whole joint, you know what I'm saying? The ankle bracelet, all of that. So one morning in Newark, I'm like kind of talking to myself. I'm on a block, it's like 5:30 in the morning. And I'm like, damn, like, you 25. I had a daughter at the time. She was like 5, or maybe 5. Was she 5 or 7? She was 7. My daughter was 7. And I'm like, yo, you ain't did nothing with your life but sell drugs. So I'm like, you know, I think I'm smart. At the time I thought I was smart. I still think I'm smart. But I'm like, yo, if you're so smart, then why all you could do is sell drugs or do something illegal? So while I was on parole, I got introduced to real estate. Like I had to have a job. So I got a job at a mortgage company and I learned about real estate, how you finance houses, how you fix your credit. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I made a couple dollars. Like my family let me refinance their houses and stuff. So on the block, I was just like, I just kind of felt sick that for 10 years of my life, all I could do was just run the streets. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try the real estate thing full time. And that day, and really what happened that day is I pictured myself at 30. I was like, what are you gonna be when you're 30? And I only could picture myself dead or in jail. Like that was, I couldn't even picture nothing else. Like I couldn't picture like me balling, or I couldn't picture nothing. I could just picture me dead or in jail because I knew what my odds were. So it's a lose-lose game. So I went into real estate full time, right? So first year was hard. Like I didn't understand how to send emails. Like I didn't understand how to speak properly, how to dress properly. I didn't understand corporate culture. Like I didn't understand what you need to do to make it in that kind of world. All I knew was the streets. So it was a year of me like relearning, like learning a whole new culture. Then I started rocking off. I caught like 90,000 on my first foreclosure deal, flipping a house. Then I started like rocking out more, making more money. Then I got noticed by BET. BET did like a segment on my life transformation. And then I was in 2006 or 7, I was part of Rockaware's I Will Not Lose campaign. They like took my story and did like a campaign around it with other people that like, you know, show motivation. So I went through all this and like just basically to date, you know, I do a show now on NBC called Open House NYC. I show like multi-million-dollar houses to people on TV.